Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the President took his American Jobs Act to Richmond, Virginia, Columbus, Ohio, and Raleigh, North Carolina, traveled to all three memorial sites on the 10th anniversary of September 11th, and presented the Medal of Honor to former active duty Marine Dakota Meyer for his extraordinary actions in Afghanistan. That's September 9th to September 15th, or Pass This Bill.
If you want to create jobs right now, pass this bill. If you want construction workers renovating schools like this one, pass this bill. If you want to put teachers back in the classroom, pass this bill. If you want tax cuts for middle-class families and small business owners, then what do? Pass this bill.
On Friday, the President traveled to the University of Richmond to discuss the American Jobs Act, a set of ideas supported by both Democrats and Republicans that puts Americans back to work and more money in the pockets of working families.
So I'm asking all of you to lift up your voices, not just here in Richmond. Anybody watching, listening, following online, I want you to call, I want you to email, I want you to tweet, I want you to fax, I want you to visit, I want you to Facebook, send a carrier pigeon. I want you to tell your congressperson the time for gridlock and games is over. The time for action is now. The time to create jobs is now. Pass this bill. Let's show the world once again why America is the greatest nation on earth.
Back at the White House, Press Secretary Jay Carney hosted a post-briefing tweet-up in his office. Here, he met with and answered questions from @White House followers on Twitter. On Saturday, the President and First Lady marked the September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance by visiting Section 60 of Arlington National Cemetery, which is reserved for service members killed in Iraq and Afghanistan. Later, the First Family participated in the service project at D.C. Central Kitchen.
Central Kitchen here is feeding 5,000 families a day. 5,000 families a day.
Meanwhile, in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the Vice President and Dr. Joe Biden were joined by former Presidents Bush and Clinton as they dedicated the opening of the Flight 93 National Memorial. On Sunday, the 10th anniversary of 9/11, the President and First Lady laid wreaths and greeted family members of those killed in the 9/11 attacks at memorials in Lower Manhattan, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon. He wrapped up the day by delivering remarks at a concert and prayer service at the Kennedy Center.
10 years ago, America confronted one of our darkest nights. And in the decades since, much has changed for Americans. We've known war and recession, passionate debates and political divides. We can never get back the lives that were lost on that day or the Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice in the wars that followed. It will be said that we kept the faith, that we took a painful blow, and we emerged stronger than before.
On Monday, September 12th, the President stood with the Vice President and veterans, teachers, construction workers, small business owners, police officers, and firefighters who will benefit from the American Jobs Act to announce that he was sending the legislation to Congress.
This is a bill that will put people back to work all across the country. This is the bill that will help our economy in a moment of national crisis. This is a bill that is based on ideas from both Democrats and Republicans. And this is the bill that Congress needs to pass. No games, no politics, no delays. I'm sending this bill to Congress today, and they ought to pass it immediately.
Later, the President took the short walk across West Executive Avenue to the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, where he made a surprise visit to the White House-hosted Open for Questions event with Interactive One, a network of African-American websites. The President discussed the American Jobs Act and its specific impact on job growth in urban communities. On Tuesday, the President traveled to Columbus, Ohio, where he visited Fort Hays Arts and Academic High School to highlight his proposal in the American Jobs Act to put folks back on the job by rebuilding and modernizing 35,000 public schools all across the country.
But here's the thing, there are schools all throughout Ohio that need this kind of renovation. There's a bridge in Cincinnati that connects Ohio to Kentucky that needs this kind of renovation. There are construction projects like these all across the country just waiting to get started, and there are millions of unemployed construction workers who are looking for a job. So my question to Congress is, what on earth are we waiting for?
On Wednesday, the president traveled to North Carolina and toured the Westar Precision Facility in Apex, a small business that would benefit from the proposals included in the American Jobs Act, including a reduction in their payroll tax and a tax cut when they hire more workers or give them a raise. Later, the president spoke to a crowd of more than 9,000 people at North Carolina State University, re-emphasizing the need for Congress to get to work on passing this bill in order to put more people back to work and to put more money in the pockets of working Americans while not adding a single dime to the deficit.
This isn't about me. This isn't about giving me a win. This isn't about giving Democrats or Republicans a win. It's not about positioning for the election. It's about giving the American people a win. That's what it's about. It's about giving small business owners and entrepreneurs a win. It's about giving students a win. It's about giving working families a win. It's about giving all of us a win.
That evening, the President and First Lady attended the 34th Annual Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute Awards Gala and kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month.
We're at a critical time for our country. The fight we're having right now, the fight to put more Americans back to work, to make our country stronger in the long run, to prove that we can get something done here in Washington. This fight could not be more important for the people in this room, for the Latino community, and for millions of Americans who need help.
On Thursday, the President led a Medal of Honor ceremony for Dakota Meyer, who is the third living serviceman and the first Marine to receive the Medal of Honor for actions in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and Mrs. Michelle Obama.
Dakota, I realize the past 2 years have not been easy for you, retelling the story of that day and standing here today. You're a very modest young man, but as you've said, you do it for a simple reason, retelling the story, because it helps you to honor those who didn't come home and to remind your fellow Americans that our men and women in uniform are over there fighting every single day.
To find out more information on any of these topics or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
Who belongs to this?
Go on, take it.
It's okay to take this?
If you feel like it.
I can get out of here? Jill, get in the back. Let's get out of here. Oh man, you guys make me feel bad. You know, once you get elected vice president, they don't allow you to drive anymore. They don't allow you to ride a bike anymore.